I bet you don't know the full story of the first man in space. His name was Yuri Gagarin, and despite growing up in poverty during World War II, where his home was literally taken over by German soldiers, he was able to work up the ranks of the Soviet Air Force, eventually training to be a fighter pilot. So by the late 50s, we were very much so in the space race. And the Soviet Union had started looking at their top Air Force pilots in order to identify who would be a good cosmonaut. He ended up being selected out of 20 candidates, not only for his flight skills, but also because Soviet Union officials thought that he would make the perfect symbol of a working class hero. On April 12, 1961, Yuri boarded the Vostok 1, which was just a tiny little metal sphere with really no controls. It was all automated. He was launched into orbit at 27,000 kilometers per hour, and he completed one full orbit of Earth in 108 minutes. Now, when he came back down to Earth, he actually ejected himself out of the pod at about 7 kilometers off the ground. And that's because the Vostok was not designed to be able to land safely with humans inside. Like I said, we were in the space race, so they beat the US to space by about a month, so they originally withheld the detail that he had ejected himself out because international aviation records require you to land with your aircraft. But nonetheless, he is still considered the very first man in space. But what happened after is a little weird. First of all, they pretty much never let him fly again because they could not risk losing their national hero. But once they did let him fly again, he was killed in a plane crash that some people still say was suspicious.